The first sign that a town is about ready to explode is happening in Vero Beach, Florida. I'm Sally Daley from the Daley Group at Douglas Elliman, and today we're going to talk about why Vero might be popping now and why it could do more so in the future. On January 3rd, the spigot turned on, and all of a sudden, demand from buyers went bananas. Why is that, Sally? Well, there's a number of things that occurred. One, we all had the worst winter we've had in 20 years. Even we had 4 days of weather like 28 degrees. Give us a hurricane, we don't care. We go to Publix and buy beer. But 4 days of cold weather, everybody else was sick of it too. That's a contributing factor. Number two, a lot of people listen to these doom scrollers saying the sky is falling and all the markets in Florida are going to collapse. Well, as we've talked about before, we have low density, low profile, limited housing supply by policy here in Vero Beach since 1977. That means our housing number is very different than, say, poor Cape Coral that really has taken it on the chin on the West Coast, or even parts of Palm Beach County where they can build all the way out to Lake Okeechobee. Since we have limited supply, we didn't have pressure down on pricing, and we only lost maybe 4 or 5% of our peak values. That's the second. The third is what we're going to talk about today: friction. What do I mean by that? Well, let's do a backstory. Vero Beach is a barrier island community with 3 fixed bridges, about an hour north of Palm Beach, about an hour south or so of Orlando. Tiny little airport that hasn't changed at all, still has the same amount of runways, that used to be home primarily to, frankly, private aircraft, Piper Aircraft, thank you to Piper, great employer for us, and some flight training academies. That's pretty much it. Then around 2018, a small upstart airline called Elite Airways started servicing Vero Beach. And they started having a modicum of success going up to places like Westchester County, in New York, Newburgh, places like that. Well, long story short, competitors must have been watching because Elite sadly is no longer operational and it didn't work out. But guess who's here? A company called Breeze Airlines. We love Breeze Airlines. Started putting Vero's map on the radar with airplane flights up to Westchester County, up in Long Island, MacArthur, Newburgh, and has been expanding. Now, even American Airlines and JetBlue are here. American Airlines servicing Charlotte, Pittsburgh. JetBlue even goes up to Boston, which means Bostonians and New Englanders can either take Breeze out of Providence or they can take JetBlue. Well, what's the deal? Why does that matter? Friction is gone. It's now easier to come to direct to Vero Beach if you want to come for a short duration of time. Vero was always popular for folks that would either be able to drive up from Miami or Boca Raton for the weekend, or folks that were going to be here for a longer period of time, so they didn't care if it was an hour from the airport. So what does that mean? It means there are more people here and more are demanding housing. And we don't have a lot of housing, so that's put pressure up on pricing. So what's actually happening? Well, the numbers are irrefutable. Our inventory of available houses to buy on the barrier island, as an example, never returned to pre-COVID levels. Pre-COVID, we always had around 300, 350 houses to sell. At its peak, we got back to maybe 250 houses, 275, never got to even 300. So that has put pressure up on pricing, and what it means is pending sales are up like 50%, and the supply of new houses coming in to refresh is not happening. There's not a lot of motivated sellers there. A lot of our sellers that have decided they wanted to sell have done so, and so we are lacking supply, so sales are now greater than new listings, inventories going down. Healthcare, entertainment, philanthropy. It's not just the physicality. What is it like beyond the obvious physicality, which is fabulous? Well, healthcare is terrific. We have the Cleveland Clinic. They've got lots of collabs with places like Duke for heart work. some beautiful, beautiful physicians. We've got a lovely hospice house who took care of my late dad and were angels. They were lovely. Shout out to them. This healthcare is surprisingly good, and that's an important thing for you to consider too. Dining, culture, things to do. Well, aside from the physicality, dining, there's a lot of very interesting dining options that are becoming more of a thing. Now, are we a foodie town like Miami? No, that's not really fair because we don't have the density that a city does. Over the 25 years that we've been here, 24 years that we've been here since 2002, the biggest change has been in the development of interesting boutique, mostly locally run eateries. A lot of them have multiple concepts. Hogan Yards that just opens up has great pepper and salt barbecue, shout out to them. Orchid Owl Brewery, shout out to Alden Bing and his family, mashed together with fun stuff to do. Pickle, padel, cornhole, live music at night for the adults. You can bring the kids during the day. It's really a vibe and it's super fun. So the culinary scene here is much more interesting than you may expect it to be. Culture, you think, well, okay, forget it. I know I love to golf. I know I love to paddleboard and fish. So much for, anything cultural. Wrong. We have a beautiful theater, an Actors Equity Theater. The kids have their own building. I love that. We have a beautiful museum that has wonderful programming and affiliated education. We've got a film series and we've got academic exercises. We've got a couple symphonic associations. We've got ballet. We've got a sailing foundation. You name it, we have it on anything cultural. Very active arts association downtown. 14th Avenue is home to a lot of galleries. There's a stroll the first Friday of every month that's super fun. And there's this huge merger of on and off the barrier island because it's so easy because the bridges are fixed. So when you get here, not only will you love the physicality of Vero, if you choose something that you're passionate about, I assure you, whether it's faith-based, athletic-based, food-based, I can connect you with your tribe. Money, let's get it out there. Not inexpensive, more expensive than it used to be, still 40% less than places like Juneau, Jupiter, Stewart, Palm Beach, Boca, Delray, Naples. The Barrier Island, a house is going to be anywhere from probably $450,000 or $500,000, frankly, to well over $1 million. We also have ranches and acreage. That's a whole different kettle of fish. $1 million to multi-million. If you want a golf course community on the Barrier Island or the mainland, that's a different story entirely. Call me, we can talk about it. Anywhere from $3 million to $20 million, depending on the club. Condos have really had a moment. Again, we talked before about the requirements to do reporting about the structure and reserve assessments after the tragedy that occurred in Surfside. So condos remain a good option. Broadly, understand that there's not many of them because of that density and policy limits for shared wall product that we talked about. So that means if most of our housing stock is single family, that's even a more rare zoning, which is great for value. So make sure you think about something that has value, like some of our beautiful condos in the middle of Central Beach or down in the Moorings, one of our beautiful yacht communities. It's all a function of age and what's important to you. Broadly, the older housing stock is in the middle of the Barrier Island across all the way up through what the urban service line is. Newer product tends to be out on the outliers north-south because that's where the land was available. That's going to be true for houses as well as condos. So let's talk condos. Condos on the Barrier Island, anywhere, it depends on the age of the building. Older buildings could be $400,000 or $500,000 up to 1.2. Newer construction of a condo broadly is probably going to be 1 to 5 million, like my beautiful full floor at 8050 Blue. Shout out to them. The entire floor, it feels like a house. So call me if you want info on that one. 5 million, and you can still pick selections at this point. On the mainland, again, it's going to be largely a function of age. You can get extremely older buildings, but super functional, check the financials, for 200 to 250, all the way up to ones in lovely communities, master plan communities like Grand Harbor that are on the water, to $1.2 million, to along Royal Palm Point, which is a thumb that goes into the Indian River. There's some lovely condos there that could be, $2 to $3 million. So again, it's like anything, a function of age, condition. is there an amenity like water or proximity to downtown that you're looking at? So let's talk houses. Single family houses, location, just like anything. On the barrier island, probably $1 million is going to be a fixer, frankly, or need something up to, $3 to $4 million on a dry lot, whether if it's brand new and maybe renovated. Now, when you start adding water to that wish list, whether it's lakefront, riverfront, ocean, the prices could be $4 million for basically a tear down house up to $40 million, $20 million, $15 million, etc. Again, I know those are not small numbers, but it's contextual, right? Compared to Juneau, Jupiter, Palm Beach. So I know it's not small change, but it's contextual and it's markedly less. So what does all this mean? Removal of friction has made a big difference to demand. It's economics 101, baby. Supply and demand. We've got supply limited by our policy. The demand has now been opened up because of removal of what had been a key piece of friction to deter people from looking here. As prices continue to go up, in South Florida, more and more people from South Florida will be thinking about a relocation up here and establishing domicile residency as high tax states like New York, New Jersey, California, Chicago start contemplating pied-à-terre tax, millionaire taxes. All of these policy decisions are going to start to affect people's desire to make a move, and they vote with their feet, right? None of it is going to go away. Now, are we going to have supersonic jets? We are not. I want to be really clear about that. There is no will nor land to have longer runways. So at what point does the traffic stop? I don't know. At the moment, I think we're getting there. There are some infrastructure challenges that the city is diligently working on for parking, bathroom facilities, check-in, etc. But as long as Vero Beach is easier to get to from key feeder markets like it is now, and the fact that more airlines are coming and they're adding new cities means more people will be able to come, and it means those airlines are doing well. I think the window is starting to close if you want to try to come in before, there's more upward pressure on pricing. I know that sounds like a snake oil salesman, but we've seen it. We've seen it since January, and it's a thing. So if you're interested in exploring the lifestyle here and whether or not it could work for you, DM me, write to me at hello@thedaileygroup.com. We can figure it out together. And if it's not the right place for you, and maybe Port St. Lucie is, or Miami, or Naples, or Brussels, or the UK, I have colleagues all over the globe that I adore and I trust, and I consider an extension of my advisory group that I would be happy to connect you to. So let me help you be your broker without borders wherever you want to go, and I would love to talk to you and help you sort it out. Until next time, I'm Sally Daley with the Daley Group at Douglas Elliman. Take care.